Priest Teacher Rabbi LM Dunuzulu. Life Spirit of Amen came. Hamiti Hebrew Ethics. It's time to rebuild. Join us today. Subscribe and let us move together. How Europe continues to rule Africa today and possibly forever.
So easy.
And the one method you can use to free yourself. This is what we want to discuss today. We have got a lot of questions that we have to ask, and we have to understand where we are coming from with these questions and where we want to go with these questions. Is Africa free? How is it possible for Europe to continue ruling Africa when we fought and defeated them? That's what we are told. That's what every African believes today. Do we really have power to elect our own leaders using the democratic voting system crafted by Europe for us? And there is one prominent African politician, the greatest ever, who wrote a book, African Nationalism, Ndabaningi Stole. Was he correct? Was he right? When you look at this image that I've just put before you, you know that you can see here, this is France, this is Africa. You can see the disparity of the French and the African. What does this mean? What does this represent? The Mao Zedong once said the evil system of colonialism and imperialism arose and throve with the enslavement of Negroes and the trade in Negroes, and it will surely come to its end with the complete emancipation of the black people. That's what Mao Zedong said. Are black people emancipated today? Was he alright? Was he correct? Was he free from the Jewish control? If you are black, is Cuba, Russia, China, North Korea a friend? On the other hand, do you know that many African countries today continue to pay colonial tax to France since their independence till today? These 15 so-called black African countries, on top of paying colonial tax to France, are mandated to teach their citizens to speak French, to sing in French, to eat French fries daily. They are also forced to elect only leaders France deem right, France select. They always are supposed to fight in international wars, diplomatic or combat with the French in any wars. Any deviation from these simple rules that I have put in, the leader who does that is summarily killed. One great example of the leader who wanted to free black people and was killed by his own friend was Thomas Sankara. His one motto that is great is that he stated, "He who feeds you controls you." The question that we want to ask today is, who is feeding you? Who is feeding your country? Who is feeding your mouth? He, whether it's the G8 or you are fed by the thought and the ideas of our Asian black Africans who were able to interact with nature and control the powers of nature. Who is feeding us? Who is feeding you? We know that the French, one politician said that French without Africa will slide down in its ranks and will become a third world country. That's President Jacques Chirac. This is what he said, and Francois Mitterrand. They all said that. Now, when we look at the other countries that were formerly colonized by the British and also called former British colonies, they still honor the Queen. They are members of the British Commonwealth. Their leaders have been knighted by the Queen. All African leaders hold membership positions in secret societies like the Freemasons, Illuminati, and other orders. Just look here. There are a few pictures that should tell us all. This is Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, a popular African leader. Look at what he's wearing. He had degrees in Freemasonry. He had the orders of the Knights of Templar. He was also a royal elect master. Look at our country here, at Zimbabwe. You know how vociferous the ruling party is against the British. But look at this arrow. This is the Queen's scepter in the parliament, where every Zimbabwean member of parliament bows to it. This is the Queen's scepter. It's called the mass. This is the setup. The setup is a British. Look at the former Ghanaian president, Kufuor. He's wearing a Freemason tie, Freemason regalia. The craft, the Freemason craft, has members and all over Africa. As its members, it has such prominent sons as John Kufuor, former president of Ghana, Jerry Rawlings, who came into power through a coup, Omar Haji Bongo, president of Gabon, Paul Biya, president of Cameroon. Others are Blaise Compaoré, who removed and killed Thomas Sankara, who was the president of Burkina Faso, Idris Deby, who was the president of Chad, Mamadou Tanja, president of Niger, Denis Sassou Nguesso, president of Congo Brazzaville, and his predecessor. I can list all of them. President Losuba, Robert Gueye, a general and late head of Côte d'Ivoire, who was removed from power and Gbagbo put into power. Where do we go? How then can we claim that we are ruling ourselves when we follow European political systems like communism, capitalism, or elections and voting, or so-called parliamentary democracy? Do you know that black Africans have fallen from the top apex to the bottom of the rung? How did Europe manage to achieve this? Does Europe really rule black people? Yes, it does. Is there any black African leader who has fought for the freedom of black people? None. None at all. We want to present this in a brief synopsis of how Europe has managed to achieve this, and perhaps in the process be able to see how we can unlock and break the chains and the links that connect us to this. I will reveal how this has been done. Do you think Dr. Jonas Savimbi was a sellout? Many people would say yes, he was a sellout. I remember recently chatting on Facebook, someone wishing Fidel Castro a birthday, and I intervened and said he was not, and that I raised the issue of Savimbi, and I was attacked left, right, and center by black people. 90% of people who attacked me lived in the United States. Why don't they relocate and live in these countries where they support these people? Who selected the MPLA to rule Angola in 1975, and why? This case that I want to present briefly is very critical in our understanding of how Europe has subverted African freedom and put in charge black leaders that kowtow and follow European dictates. This case is clear and it demonstrates this fact. There were three political movements that fought for the freedom of Angola: MPLA, UNITA, and FNPL, led by Holden Roberto, and the MPLA led by Agostinho Neto, and UNITA led by Jonas Savimbi. In 1975, Portugal held talks with these groups. An election was scheduled in that year. However, they knew that UNITA, led by Dr. Jonas Savimbi, would win a free and fair election. Why? Because UNITA was a Bantu, and UNITA was a Bantu-led party. Jonas Savimbi was its legitimate leader, who was a popular Bantu leader. Then Portugal secretly had already started to invite Fidel Castro to assist with 12,000 Cuban troops who arrived during the transitional talks. And these troops were assisted by Russian equipment and Russian instructors. Together then they helped MPLA to take over Luanda, which was then under transitional rule. Immediately, this triggered the civil war in which they, the Europeans, postured as saints, watching black Africans failing to rule. Today, the MPLA is government pays Portugal billions and billions of dollars in economic support. UNITA and its former president, Dr. Jonas Savimbi, was labeled as a terrorist organization, as a sellout group, yet the actual sellout was MPLA, which actually admitted. There is a video which you can watch. There is a video that I'm showing there. The video is entitled New Liberation Wars. It's Angola. It's found on YouTube. You can look at that and then listen to that, and you'll find that this was a great sellout. MPLA was a great sellout. It is the same job that has been done in Africa. Millions of black Africans vociferously chant that Fidel Castro is their hero. Yet he subverted UNITA from power. He was a Jesuit who assisted his cousins, the Portuguese, to retain overt control of Angola via MPLA. Without this piece of information, millions worship such people as Che Guevara and Mahatma Gandhi, non-racists, non-Africans, whose political, military, or religious task and job was the destruction of Africans. Here is the political handgame played over and over. Today, it is the black African leader who is selling us out. How is he doing that? I've already demonstrated. Many of them belong to these secret societies. Many of them have put in power by our former colonists. No black African leader has championed for the reversal of the Berlin Conference borders. All they do is implement the retention of those borders. European passports are used in Africa. The system of passport, so-called national identity systems, birth certificates, all these governmental systems, the taxation system, the prohibition from us Africans to own any metals found, only minerals found in Africa, all these are crafted by the same people that put these politicians in power. Each African liberation movement and subsequent governments support the divide Africa, conquer Africa, and rule Africa, crafted in Berlin in 1884 for the benefit of Europe. Yes, there is no African leader who is advocating for the non-recognition of Middle East. There was no Middle East at all. Let us look at the Berlin Conference, which is the tapestry upon which our colonization and neo-colonization and continuous colonization by our own black brothers continues. This Berlin Conference is where European nations met in Berlin, in Germany, to settle their own arguments of African lands, minerals, and natural resources. European powers divided all of Africa except Ethiopia and Liberia, which they later recolonized. Directly, Ethiopia was attacked by Italy, and they drew up new borders without them ever having come to look at the tribal and the natural boundaries, creating a system that will cause war up to today. They did not consider ethnic or language differences of African tribes. There was no African there at the meeting. The Berlin Conference was Africa's undoing in more ways than one. The colonial powers superimposed their domains on the African continent. By the time of independence, or so-called independence in the 50s, the realm had acquired a legacy of political fragmentation, disunity, wars, and confusion. This could neither be eliminated nor made to operate satisfactorily today. So, when you claim nationhood today as an African, do you realize you are affirming the power and control of the Berlin Conference? You are saying, I am a servant of Europe living in European designated borders in Africa.
So easy. So
You could be an Algerian, you could be an Angolan, you could be a Guinea-Bissauan, you can be a Mozambican, you can be a Zimbabwean, you can be a Gambian. These are not African countries. These are designated areas, designated places that Europe has given you and me to live. You cannot decide today to go and live in Djibouti. You need a European designated passport. I cannot travel freely from Zimbabwe to Cape Verde. I need a passport. I can't go to Seychelles. I need a passport. I can't even go to Mozambique where my cousins live. I need a passport. I can't even go to Angola where my cousins live. I need a passport because of the Berlin Conference. What's going on here? What is going on here is that overt control was substituted by covert. This is the strategy. It operates on the basis of the outcome of the Berlin Conference and other documents, for instance, the Balfour Declaration, and also the creation of the Middle East and the creation of so-called African Union. It's all crafted by secret societies to continue the Berlin Conference system over us, Africa. Looking at the Berlin Conference and the subsequent tactical subversion of freedom from black Africans by black African liberation movements, it is clear then that voting to put anyone in power in Africa is a sheer waste of time. No African leader is free to do anything for black people. But for his masters in Europe, you can also read the WikiLeaks. Please notice, today it is time to spread these facts. That there are African countries that are still paying Europe. There are African countries that are still paying the British. There are African countries that are still kowtowing to the British system in Africa under the so-called Commonwealth. It is time each black person realizes that their suffering neighbor or themselves must be assisted via knowledge. This political electoral deception must be stopped. How do we stop that? By using applied knowledge. Applied knowledge is your only bullet. If you are of the black race, do you use your inherent ancestral competitive advantage? Are we using our own competitive advantages inherent in us? Do you realize you must free yourself first? You can't become a member of a political party without knowing this practical applied knowledge. Because there is no politician who will come to help you. There is no religious leader who will teach you what you must eat, who will teach you what you must think, how you must think, where you must desire, what you must apply, how you must release your knowledge. You need this applied knowledge. You must use your own inherent power of knowledge. Not mere knowing, but applied knowledge. Applied knowledge is for those of us willing to be unusually successful and break the chains around our lives, blessed by a system that began in Berlin, Germany, in this modern era in 1884. Of course, there are literally thousands of books, files, internet, YouTube, websites, documentaries, schools of education, etc., where you can access this knowing. Yet, few will take you over the line because they don't start at the Berlin Conference. They don't start with Asian African knowledge. Yes, sure, for a price of a cup of coffee, you can download one book which can assist you in unmasking how Europe rules Africa. And in the process, disadvantages as well. Only using applied knowledge, vibrated at a very high ancestral spiritual frequency, and together we can cross and smash the borders set in Berlin. Yes, you can grab this book. How you can survive current tragic wars against our race. You can download this from Amazon. This book written by L.M. Dumizu, priest teacher rabbi. And then by unleashing black ancestral competitive advantage, you can rise up and assist us. Grab this from Amazon today. How you can survive current tragic wars against our race by unleashing black African ancestral competitive advantage. This is how you can do it. Subscribe, comment below, and tell others. Thank you all, and goodbye.